Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Hold on for 1 minute. Put this reel down. Hold on. Okay. Excuse me. I was just doing a little deep, a little fishing. It's Saturday, and I usually go fishing every other Saturday. But since you're here, why not continue my tradition of reviewing two movies? And I'll go back to my fishing later. I think the fish were biting, so you interrupted me at a crucial moment. So let me get through this real quick so I can go back to my fishing. Uh, okay, I have two movies here that I watched this morning, and so let's review them. Okay, the first movie is a movie that I've been wanting to see, actually. I saw the trailer for this, I think, earlier this... Well, actually, I saw the review of it, actually, earlier. I think I saw the review first, or did I see the trailer? No, I think I saw the trailer first, and then I saw a review of it. But I don't think it was playing anywhere close to... I think it opened small in the States. This is an Australian film. This is called Sapphires. Okay, I think it came out in 2012. Actually, in Australia, I think it's when it was made and released in Australia in 2012. I think it got released, a limited release in the States, I think, earlier this year. Anyway, this is about a Australian female singing group, and Chris O'Dowd is starring it. Well, let me first tell you what it's about. Okay, this takes place in 1968, and this takes place in Australia. About four young Aboriginal sisters. Well, they say sisters, but in the story, actually, it's actually two. In the real life thing, okay. This is based on a true story. It's two sisters and two cousins, I believe. Okay, they live, in a remote mission back in Australia. Back then, they had the Aborigines, living on missions and church missions and stuff. And they didn't have the right to vote until I think 1968. That's when they finally got the right to vote. Okay, and you have these sisters that they were singing, and they wanted to actually sing, and actually performance in Vietnam. They actually were having auditions for people to go to Vietnam to entertain the troops. Okay, and you have these sisters that they meet this Irish gentleman, Dave, played by Chris O'Dowd. Okay, and he basically transformed them, because when he first meets them, they're basically a country act, singing country songs and stuff, and he kind of teaches them about soul music and how to sing and how to perform. Okay, and then of course they go to Vietnam, but there's a lot of other little things that. First of all, let me just say about the performances in the movie. The four Aboriginal actresses they got for this movie are excellent. They have good chemistry between each other, and they have great voices and great singing, and they have great chemistry between each other. Okay, and they're also with Chris O'Dowd. They play all great with Chris O'Dowd, who plays this drunk, gambling Irishman Dave that meets them, and basically they tell them that they want them to perform with them when they go to Vietnam, and he arranges an audition for them, which they pass and they go. But what I really liked about this movie is the performances, like I said, between the four actresses, because there's a lot of history between them, specifically between two of the characters. Let me tell you who the four sisters play. Deborah Millman plays Gail, which is that one. She's like the older sister. And then you have Deborah Mailman, which is the lead singer. She played Gail. Okay. Then you have Miranda Tatspell. She's the little shorter one, the younger one, who's like a spitfire. And then you have Kay, that's played by Sherry Sevens. That's this one here. And there's kind of a history. There's a lot of good humor in this, a lot of great music in this, and a lot of family conflict as well that I don't want to get specific about because, let it unfold. But the most important part about this thing is it's really a feel-good story about these four Aboriginal sisters who get a break and go out into the world, or Vietnam in this case, to perform and play the music, which they always wanted to do at a time when basically when blacks, especially Aboriginal blacks were treated like crap in Australia. Okay, and they meet, like I said, this Chris O'Dowd plays Dave Lovelace, the guy, the Irish guy who basically teaches them how to dance and how to perform and stuff. And it's a good mix of comedy, of great drama, and great music. Okay, and you got a lot of little, like I said, the personal stories, are really good. And this movie, like I said, was based on a stage play and actually based on by the guy who, one of the original Sapphires in real life. Her son wrote there was a stage play, I guess, based on their life, and he wrote it, and so he helped write this movie. Okay, and it's a really, really good. You have great, like I said, great mix of drama, comedy, great songs, and great performances by the whole female cast, and especially Chris O'Dowd. He's absolutely hysterical in this movie, and totally worth checking out for him because he's a scream in this. Okay, so like I said, based on the trailer, it's just a really good, a feel good story. And a story that I hadn't heard about before, and it's really good. It's, like I said, it's touching, great humor, great songs, and just like I said, the chemistry between the four actresses is really, really good, and it really gives you a good feeling watching it too. Okay, and you love the sense of family and stuff too, which is really great. So I would give Sapphires an 8 out of 10. It's really, really enjoyable, and it's like I said, mostly because of the great songs, the great chemistry between the actresses, and Chris O'Dowd's performance is great. Okay, so this is definitely a real, which made me actually go read the real life story. And they, on the special features in this, they interviewed the real life sisters who were still alive, and they talked to them about their experiences and stuff, and maybe they had, how the making of this movie and everything else, and it's really, really good. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Now, this next one is a animated movie, Epic. It came out in 2013. This is basically the story of a young Mary Catherine, played by Amanda Seyfried. She returns upon the death of her mother to her scientist father's home in the country, and he's obsessed with trying to prove that this tiny little civilization lives out in the woods, in the forest. He has all these cameras hooked up and taking pictures and stuff because he's under the belief that there's a little tiny miniature civilization living in the forest. And it got to the point where it drove Mary Catherine's mother away. She's separated from him. Okay, and upon her death, she comes home, Mary Catherine, to try to reconnect with her father. Of course, he's still obsessed with finding out these little creatures and stuff that they exist. Okay, and through a weird set of circumstances, Mary Catherine actually finds herself shrunken down to the size of these strange creatures by the Queen, Queen Tara of the Forest, who actually, during a ceremony to pick the next queen of the forest, she gets mortally wounded. Okay, and of course Mary Catherine gets tasked with delivering a new pod that's going to, pick the new queen to safety. And of course, they're enemies of the Leaf people, are the defenders of the queen of the forest. But they have enemies called the Boggans, that they purify things and ruin the forest. And the queen and the Leaf people are the good guys in this case. And basically, they have to battle them to so that she can deliver the pod and then they can pick the new queen of the forest. Okay, I know it's sounds kind of complicated, but that's the basic story of this. Anyway, the animation in this, first of all, is absolutely beautiful. Okay, it's the animated movies are just absolutely beautiful on Blu-ray, and this is no exception. There's absolutely beautiful animation and stuff. The voice work is sort of ordinary, and the story kind of tends to drag a little bit. Okay, this movie's about 1 hour and 48 minutes, I think. And I think this probably could have been done in less time than that. You could have probably shaved off like 20-something minutes in this movie. Okay, like I said, the voice actors in this, like I said, are nothing really special. To be honest, you have Colin Farrell. He plays like a tough guy, leader, general. Okay, you have Beyonce, who plays the queen, Queen Tara. You have Amanda Seyfried as Jake, what's her name? J.K., right? Catherine, that's her name. No, M.K., sorry, Mary Catherine. M.K., and then you have Josh Hutcherson as Nod. He's like the young, stereotypical, rebellious, soldier who doesn't want to listen to anybody about anything. And then you have a couple of oddball characters, that play, these two, slug and a slime guy that are like companions. They're on the good side of the Leaf Men. But this movie, like I said, it tended to kind of drag. It was okay, nothing special. Like I said, this story is like an hour 48 minutes, and I found myself kind of losing interest in it because it just tended to drag a little bit too long. Like I said, they probably could have shaved off like 20-something minutes of it, and it would have been okay. They could have tightened up the story. Is basically what I'm saying. And you have Christopher Waltz, who plays like the head Boggins guy, the head villain in this case. And like I said, visually the movie is beautiful. Like I said, but the story is, like I said, nothing that we haven't seen before. Basically, young daughter trying to reconnect with her distant father, who's caught up in his scientific stuff, and of course, to the detriment of his family, of course, and then the daughter coming back to try to reconnect with him, and then she going off on her adventure, getting shrunken down, and going off on her adventure with the Leaf Men to try to preserve the forest. Okay, and you have these battles that go back and forth, and you have a decent sense of humor in it. But like I said, it's the story tends to kind of wander a little bit and drag out a little bit too much. Like I said, this movie probably, if they'd have cut like 20-something minutes off the movie and tightened the story up, it probably would have been better. Okay, so I'm going to give Epic a 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. Okay, like I said, it could have been better if they would have tightened up the story and maybe shortened the length of it a little bit. And like I said, visually it's a beautiful movie, but it's just, like I said, tends to drag a little bit, and it's like a little bit too long for an animated movie, I think. Okay, so Epic 6.5. Okay, and yeah, 6.5. That's good. And Sapphires, which I really, really enjoyed, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10, because this was really enjoyable about this female group of Aboriginal sisters, or actually two sisters and the two cousins. Okay, and the the drug talent scout they meet that actually gets them an audition and gets them to travel to Vietnam to perform for the troops during the war, and then the personal dramas that they have in between each other, between the sisters and the cousins. You have this drama, which I don't want to get into, whether you see that unfold. It's kind of a personal drama between them and all the stuff that they had to go through. They kind of gloss over some of it, but they show some of it and stuff. And it's really good, and it's basically about family, and it's really entertaining, and great songs, and the female actresses have great chemistry between each other, and between Chris O'Dowd, who plays Dave. Okay, definitely 8 out of 10. It's a really, really enjoyable movie. I really love this. Really, really enjoyed it. 8 out of 10. Okay, so that's why let me know what you think of those titles. Feel free to leave comments down below, and I'm going back to my fishing. Okay, so let's see. I think I got something.